On the second night of a back-to-back, the Warriors continue to rise in the playoff seeding by beating the Jamal Murray-less Nuggets with the reigning MVP Nikola Jokic. I want to break down how the Warriors exposed Denver's defensive game plan of trapping and showing on Steph Curry on-ball screens and pick and rolls involving Jokic, which turned to high-quality looks off the short roll pass. So let's get to it. Right from the get-go, you can see Jokic jump to almost all ball screens involving Steph Curry. With Curry trying to relocate and MPJ chasing from behind, Draymond Green throws the ball and instantly sets an all-ball screen. Jokic recognizes this and jumps out the trap, giving Steph the opportunity to jump and throw the short roll pass back to Green for a 4-on-3 advantage on the backside. Watson has to rotate over as the weak side low man and does a good job contesting, but Green jumps into the body of the defender and uses his strength to finish the layup. I thought the Warriors came out big sluggish on the second night of a back-to-back, especially Draymond, who usually capitalized on these 4-on-3 advantages in his sleep, but ended up turning the ball over quite a few times in that first quarter. Steph and Dre run a pick and roll knowing Jokic is coming out the trap and Brown is fighting over. Green rolls early to get the short roll pass, and now we have another 4-on-3. Gordon rotates as the weak side low man, and MPJ decides to peel switch off to the corner shooter. This leaves a 2-on-1 right in the paint as Moody cuts, and here he's able to draw the foul from Aaron Gordon. Let's break down another way to counter the trap game plan. High pick and roll with Dre again, and Jokic comes out the trap. Curry brilliantly keeps his dribble alive, waiting for Brown to recover, but because this stretches the defense out again and allows Green to be a big target on the short roll, Porter Jr. decides to leave his man on the strong side to shade the roller, giving Jimmy Butler a high IQ opportunity to set an exit screen on Aaron Gordon. The Nuggets collapse again, and Paz gets a wide open 3-ball. Without Jamal Murray, the Nuggets were extra dependent on their MVP, and I'm sure Golden State wanted to tire him out on defense as much as possible. Draymond runs an empty side dribble handoff action to get Jokic into play, where Steph attacks off the catch knowing Jokic is coming out the trap. This time, Curry counters by keeping his dribble alive again and using his quickness to stretch the defense out and force Jokic to slide his feet. Then he perfectly times his drive past the big man and with no help gets the easy layup as Jokic is not a dynamic rim protector. The problem with trapping Steph Curry on on-ball screens is that he's a supreme passer off the short roll, and the Warriors screeners have developed great chemistry with him. Jokic has a non-shooter in GP2, so Payne just comes to send on-ball pick on Westbrook. Jokic plays a pretty poor show coverage, and we know Westbrook isn't exactly the greatest defender, opening up an easy lane for Payne to slip. Pocket pass to GP2, and we got another 4-on-3 advantage on the back end. Brown has to rotate over as the weak side low man, and with Gordon not being low enough, Kuminga does not settle, cuts to the rim for a wide open dunk. Way too easy. Steve Kerr wanted to involve Jokic in the pick and roll to get him to spend energy on the defensive end as much as possible. With the shot clock winding down, Buddy comes to the pick and the Nuggets switch. Looney simultaneously wants to get Jokic high up on the action for another pick and roll. I am completely unsure what Buddy Hield is doing here, getting his man to play, crowding Steph's driving lane, but it gives Brown an opportunity to switch back. Jokic is way more comfortable in the drop, and Denver does a great job contesting from behind, but this is Steph Curry we're talking about. He doesn't even need to shoot with balance. When the Nuggets top block Steph and get him out of the play, running handoff actions with shooters would see the same type of game plan from Denver. DHO with Buddy Hield, and since he is a shooter, Jokic decides to come out and show to prevent the 3-ball. Buddy learns from the best by sliding a pocket pass back to the short roll to Looney, who now has a 3-on-2 advantage on the weak side. Watson comes to rotate as a low man, and Gordon is responsible for Xing out. Kuminga again does not settle and cuts to the rim, giving Looney the chance to read the rotations and slip a bounce pass. JK uses his athleticism to finish the smooth reverse layup. In the second half, the Nuggets decide to be more aggressive with the on-ball defender, where several times Steph decided to even reject the screen. Draymond comes for the brush screen and slips, knowing Jokic is coming out high to show. Curry chooses to reject the pick and attack the sideline towards Brown anyways, and with Brown cutting him off, Steph then keeps his dribble alive to read the 4-on-3 on the backside. AG is covering the two strong side non-shooters, but this is an incredible pass on the inside of the defender to only where Draymond Green can catch the ball. Green is rewarded for the roll and the layup. Here was another defensive collapse. Jimmy Butler first comes for the set the screen, and Porter Jr. makes a poor effort trying to fight through. You can see Jokic look to the right and is shocked no one is there, and knows you can't just give Steph an open look, so he decides himself to show up high. However, Porter Jr. finally arrives late to switch, and now Jokic himself is out of position. Steph knows he can attack cone defenders like MPJ and Jokic, and keeps his dribble alive to read the baseline coverages. Fakes the pass to get Jokic in the air before sliding another pass to the inside of Aaron Gordon, who's worried about Moses Moody in the corner. This pass actually got tipped, but Green is able to pick up the loose ball for another easy basket. Let's run a simple high pick and roll to get Jokic into action, this time with Guy Santos. Michael Malone chose to have Jokic trap Steph, because playing a drop or switching with Jokic is pretty much picking or poison. However, Jokic comes out high like this, he has to do a better job cutting off the sideline. Curry simply dribbles past and collapses the defense. Watson comes to rotate as the weak side low man, but Steph actually misses this floater, and guess who's there? Kevon Looney has no one boxing him out and gets a tip in off another high quality offensive possession. Jokic was getting burned the entire game, on top of carrying the offensive load and nearly dropping another triple-double. Time to reward Looney with another pick and roll with Denver's two worst defenders. Jokic plays a weak show, waiting for Porter Jr. to recover. The second comes back, Curry slides a timely bounce pass to the short roll Looney, where there is a 4-on-3 advantage again. Taking the Nuggets' two tallest guys out of the paint is ideal, so Looney has minimal resistance using his body against a weak side low man rotation in Christian Braun. One bounce and goes up strong for the layup. Finally, let's break down a great play when the Warriors swing the ball to attack Jokic in the paint. Pods comes with a pick, and now it's MPJ's turn to trap. Curry hits the pick and pop, and Pods attacks a long recover to drive to the paint. With Jokic running to help and rotate, Golden State runs a semi-blind pick action, in which Pods throws to the open Santos, who immediately runs a handoff on the weak side with Steph, who lost Christian Braun. With Watson smelling this out and closing out hard, Braun is also chasing from behind, giving Steph the opportunity to shot fake and have both defenders fly by. Now he's got Santos' original man in Jokic in a drop coverage, so Steph easily pulls up the long two, finally gets a shooting foul call from the ref. There you guys have it. Golden State continued their impressive win streak against top Western Conference playoff teams, this time snapping a 9-game losing streak against the Jamal Murray-less Nuggets, even on the second night of a back-to-back. Steph Curry exploded for 36 points and 7 threes, keeping up his high scoring streak in meaningful games. He was able to read the Nuggets' defensive coverages on pick-and-roll actions involving Nikola Jokic and counter their aggressive trap and show game plan by pulling the weak defender play and generating high-quality looks. With the goal of not only tiring out the Denver MVP, Steph was able to predict the game plan and counter, whether by dribbling past the coverage, rejecting the screen overall, or hitting the short roll man for a 4-on-3 advantage. The Warriors locked in defensively and posted another convincing win to climb the standings. Now it's on to another conference contender in the Houston Rockets, so if you guys like this breakdown, like and subscribe to see more.